Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Mungab, and it's the Formula One back. Formula One is back to the Dutch Grand Prix after the summer break. It's Zandvoort, the home of Max Verstappen, and he picks up where he's left off. We'll just go through a quick review of the qualifying that's just ended at Zandvoort. You know, the man of the moment, the myth, the legend, Mr. Max Verstappen takes pole, and he will start tomorrow from the pole position. Man behind him is a known feature who's been kind of chasing him from quite some time from Austria, even the last races in Silverstone as well. There was a chance that he could have pipped him, but then that didn't happen. The mighty and the rising McLaren star, Lando Norris. And at the end, George Russell pips. It was interesting. Alex Albon was there for quite some time, but he gets up and takes the claim of getting P3. So interesting, weird weather qualifying, I would say. The weather played a big part because it's been raining. FP1 and FP2 has been the ones that have been a little more clearer, but then FP3 we had rain in the qualifying to start in as well. There was drops coming in through Q1. Q2 was like a little wet, but Q3 was getting dry. You could see the drier lines kind of coming up from the start itself. But what was interesting is like how it shaked up. Of course, there have been other news as well with Daniel Ricciardo breaking his hand, and he's gone to Barcelona now for surgery. He's gone to the same doctor who treated Lance Stroll earlier at the start around in Bahrain, where he had a crash or like a pre-season injury before this season started. So Daniel Ricciardo is out for AlphaTauri, and in came Liam Lawson, who in the qualifying did what a Ricky could do. He didn't crash. He did in FP3 or FP look like he did in FP3. He did have his challenges, but then that was his only free practice session that he would do better in Monza, I would say, because I think Daniel will be out for a couple of races, in my opinion. Liam Lawson finished P20, and he will start at the back. Valtteri Bottas, a good kind of showing in the free practice sessions, but then nothing prominent in the qualifying. He ended P19, and same for Haas of Kevin Magnussen. He's been struggling with the first corner, like going off and then crashing as well. He didn't do much. He finished P18. The interesting part was like in Q1, as the time started, because it started raining at the end, like in the last 2 minutes, it started raining. People were already on Intes, and they were trying to kind of. Everybody was like, let's see if it stopped raining, if it's getting drier quickly. People would have gone to the slicks. Nobody dared to go on the slicks in Q1. But then that was the idea that it could have happened. Leclerc got saved, like he was P15, so he got saved before like his last lap attempt. And Hamilton there as well. But then Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, and Liam Lawson were the first out from Q1. That meant the Q2 would be more interesting. That you had a little, the rain had gone. It was getting drier and drier. The track will dry out faster with these intermediates, but the question was like, was it enough? Was it dry enough? Was there a dry line that was kind of coming out? You could see a bit of it, but then at the start it was interesting. Max Verstappen and Perez set up the laps. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri set the timing screen on fire. They were P1, P2 for quite some time in the Q2 of qualifying, before Max Verstappen kind of put the metal to the pedal and kind of went with it and did what he does beautifully. What was interesting in Q2, what we saw was Lance Stroll out, Pierre Gasly of Alpine out, Lewis Hamilton. The Q2 exit for Lewis Hamilton was a shocker. I think he was struggling with the car all around, but then it just could not have happened at the bad. I think he was caught in traffic and in a no man's land because he wanted to go in. I think it was 5 minutes or 3 minutes before and he wanted to go in for a set of new inters, but then he didn't have enough time to go in, do an outlap, and then do a run or do a real run for to try and make it in Q3, and that's why it's ended Q2 with Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg out in Q2. Q3, and it was interesting. Everybody was on slicks. You have a dry line kind of shown, completely visible, and you knew that everybody the timing screen is just going to go on fire, and that's eventually what happened. Alex Albon puts up the beautiful. Alex Albon was P1 for quite some time before Logan Sargeant put it in, but then he bumped it into the wall of the first corner. His qualifying was done. He starts P10. That's my problem. I think he'd have made a very rookie mistake because there was a very clear dry line. If you dipped your tire a centimeter into the wet patch, you are gone. There is no grip anywhere else on the track for that slick tire to held on to. So if you made the mistake, and that's what he did, he made the mistake and it's gone. Logan Sargeant gone, crashes out, but he starts P10. This was a good qualifying for Williams. They have got both cars in Q3 after quite a long time. Like I think the commentators, David Crofton, were talking about, but I think it was around 2012 or something. I need to check back the statistics, like how long it has been for Q3 for both cars for Williams to be there. But then Logan Sargeant, a rookie mistake. I think his seat is in danger after this mistake. He could have capitalized and just kept his nose clean. The problem is now he is P10. He is vulnerable after this crash. His confidence has gone low. He does not know what kind of sticks, what does not. And that's my concern. I think this was the moment, and that's what I said on Twitter as well. I think Williams are looking at different options after this crash from Logan Sargeant. Charles Leclerc, another one to crash out of Q3. That was a very funny mistake. Like he understeers, but he just snaps. The car just snaps. He understeers, and it's his own mistake. He comes on the radio immediately and says, "I'm sorry." But these mistakes keep happening. Ferrari need a clean weekend. Leclerc is an amazing qualifier. If he keeps making these mistakes, and if he's not confident enough, we have a problem. This is simply Ferrari off the rails right now. He will start P9, Oscar Piastri P8 in the end, Sergio Perez P7, 1.371 seconds, 1.3 seconds behind Max Verstappen in the same car. That's a lot, in my opinion. That's a lot. And he starts P7, Carlos Sainz P6. He has been struggling. Carlos Sainz has been struggling with this track all weekend long. He's not been confident, but then he finishes P6. That's a confidence boost for him. Fernando Alonso does what Fernando Alonso does. He's been quiet. There's been no kind of too much Aston Martin. They have a new floor. They have a new set of updates, but they've kept to the ground and just worked at it. P5 is a good place to start. Alex Albon, the man, Albono, beautiful. Williams on the rise. James Vowles, and Alex Albon. This combination is working so well for Williams. I'm really, really happy to see them in P4 in the second grid slot with George Russell, the ex-Williams driver, who was happy, and also in this post-qualifying interview did say that he was looking forward to battle with McLaren and Alex, and he was happy for Williams to be there in the top. You have to understand that George Russell last season was out qualifying Hamilton straight out. There's something happened this season that it was not happening for him, but now he feels that he can come back and haunt Lewis Hamilton on qualifying as well. Lando Norris, he was just half a second behind, like 0.537 behind the pole sitter, the man, the myth, the legend, the Dutch home crowd favorite, Max Verstappen. So Max Verstappen does what he does. Lando Norris slotted in perfectly in P2. It's going to be interesting. We have seen these two fight it out from the start. Lando Norris has pipped Max Verstappen in the previous races. So this will be interesting to see how better, or does Lando Norris catch Max Verstappen again in turn one. takes the lead, but how long can he hold on this time? Last time, Lando Norris did not believe that he had the pace or the car underneath him to sustain Max Verstappen or Red Bull. Does he not? Does he try in Austria? That's what he's almost felt. But maybe there is a chance that Lando Norris is able to hold on to this lead for longer to see what Red Bull or Max Verstappen do. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this race? How did you think about the qualifying? What do you think of who ends up in the top step of the podium tomorrow for the Dutch Grand Prix? In my opinion, it's Max Verstappen all the way with a little, I think Hamilton will come back, but it'll be hard for him to coming back from P13. I am hoping the Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri have a better weekend, possibly a podium for both, but we don't know. But I can't rule out Williams. I can't rule out Williams still. But then let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Do like this video, do share and do subscribe to the channel. I love hearing more from you. I'm engaging more with the shorts and these kind of videos. I'm looking forward to hearing more from you on the Formula One side of it. What do you think? Who's going to win? And how do you think the race is going to pan out? There is a weather element to this. We have to understand the Dutch Grand Prix, the final tomorrow, will be more from the weather side as well. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Do like this video, do share, and do subscribe. And I catch you in the next one.